देखो for you.
Okay.
माँ
क्या हुआ? कलर पसंद नहीं आया?
ये कैसे पहनूं ये?
कॉन्डोम जरूर यूज करना. क्या करूं मैं? तेरे नाइट के साथ पैक कर दूं?
हेयर स्टाइलिस्ट को भी मैंने फोन करके बुक कर दिया. हाँ.
अच्छा एक बात बताओ, वो बीना आंटी से कह देती हूँ तुम्हारी ब्राजीलियन वैक्स बुक कर देगी.
है?
ओ ठीक है, मैं ही कर देती हूँ.
क्या? नो थैंक यू नो.
मैं क्या करती हूँ ना, दूध में एक पाउडर देती हूँ आपको मिलाने को, फिर देखो. हाँ. इतनी प्यारी लग रही है. हाय सृष्टि.
Thank you, आंटी.
कैसे हो?
ठीक है.
तो गुड न्यूज का भी दे रहे हो.
आंटी शादी होके फिर अभी शादी नहीं हुई. हाँ.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 5 of Girls Feed. It's our semi-final. Woo! And unlike the Game of Thrones episode, we are going to be better at discussing women.
And we have better lighting too.
We're actually here to discuss sex and dating, but also like what we really hate about sex and dating. So guys, let's jump into it. When did you all lose your virginities? Somebody has to start.
So when it comes to virginity, I just feel like it's like an overhyped concept. Also, the point of it being that I remember it being something from school, and everything we saw on pop culture and every TV show, everything we saw was the point that if you haven't lost your virginity before you're 30, you're a big fat loser. So that's the end of my sentence. I'm 33.
I was trying to wait till I was 18, and I've been in a relationship with someone for 2 years. I was trying to save, till I was 18, and then I wanted to lose it. Except I broke up and lost it to someone else on their birthday as a gift to him.
To them.
Some random guy. He was a moron.
I was afraid of intercourse. So I was like, oh my god, I'll get pregnant.
But that's what every woman
And
goes through when she's thinking about having sex.
I was very paranoid. I was like, I cannot deal with this. I need to get my education. I need to do my MBA. I cannot have this Sir Dard. And even then I would get scared. Even then if I miss my period or something, I would like, oh my god, ho sakta hai. And then I would read on the internet and they would like, yo, yeah, छूने से भी हो जाता है.
बच्चा छूने से फैलता है.
I think I was 23, 4, maybe. Yeah, 24. Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't penetrative because according to the usual norm that goes around, penetrative sex is equal to sex. There's nothing other than that which constitutes to sex according to people, most people. But
Which
that's
is
not
true. Yeah.
Which is really not true.
I'm hoping it was fun.
It was. So I'm pan, and last year was the first time that I did it with a woman, and I was like freaked out about it, but when I did it, I was like, okay, I know this forever. It's because I know about my body, so I know what pleases me, so I understand my body, which is a female body, so that's why I was able to know what she would want.
Can you explain what it means to be pan, because I never understood it really.
Okay, so the word pan means everything. I get attracted to people regardless of their gender. So there are more than 1, 2, 3 genders. There are many genders. See, if you're a nice person, I'm attracted to you. So pure.
Wow. So I have a question. Given that non-penetrative sex is also sex, why is masturbation not sex?
Hence. That's the literal point. Virginity is a myth as a concept, right? Like, what is virginity? It's this like straight male idea of like, a woman should be pure before she gets married or whatever. The idea that your hymen, which is a thin layer,
which could have been broken by a horse.
Whoa. Well, Bojack, give me a call. You want-
Nice.
Or a dildo, or a hand, or a real like.
Or like actual just like did a split, yeah.
He just walked.
चलते चलते फट गया चलते चलते यूं ही फट जाता हूँ मैं
When did you all lose your virginities? How about like not yet actually?
That's great. Good on you.
You're not trying to like save yourself or anything. But I have like questions. Can I ask?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So you don't get horny?
I do frequently, and I'm my own best friend in that situation. And you know, we just know when we need each other. I'm talking about myself like in plural.
What happens when you're like attracted to someone?
You know,
Saloni, it's like Saloni has found this wild animal. I am so fascinated.
I'm really fascinated.
so basically, it's like there is a beast inside everyone. When you wake up the beast and you feed it, and then it wants more. My beast hasn't woken up. It hasn't eaten anything, so it's
I
chilling.
think you can put it back to sleep.
Also, I think the beast is being awakened every time you are with yourself.
That's fair.
It fairly sounds like you're on the asexuality spectrum where it's like very grey.
I don't think about it in detail, to be honest. I'm just like, है तो है.
This is what
क्या कर सकते हैं?
But since you spoke about asexuality, Dan, if I'm right, you identify as asexual. So this concept of losing your virginity, what happened?
Doesn't make any sense at all. Because asexuality is a spectrum, and there are like 2 points to a spectrum. There are like at one point there are sex positive people, and the other point there are sex repulsive people, and there in the middle there are other bunch of people who have n number of feelings about sex. And whenever you're talking about like sex, like you want to know about someone having sex if you're hetero and you're homo. But does that word say anything about how much sex you're having or you're having sex at all? No. So that's the same thing with asexuality. I'm not attracted to you because I want to have sex with you. I might have sex with you, maybe. I don't know. So there was this person, so you don't feel anything down there. I was like, I'm not a plant.
I always was like, my first time, guys, will be in a hotel.
You fantasized a hotel room as the place?
I don't know. I wasn't even worried about like hidden CCTV cameras, nothing.
I'm sure I thought of hotels too. Like it's normal.
I just wanted a nice bed. I think I just wanted luxury.
Didn't you imagine like a white fluffy bed and white curtains and then everything
White,
in slow
yes,
motion?
white. Just like
Funny, but I imagined black stuff.
Your beast is
clearly like some of us got a little delayed with our sexual advancements. So like, where did you meet these people? How do you actually get laid? Where does it begin? Like, for example, I meet people on dating apps.
How does that? Do you like copy paste?
I do. I just copy. On some level, I just copy paste my answers.
same. I'm just so bored of answering the same. The worst question, why are you here? Arey, you know why I'm here, yaar. The same reason you're here. I'm making chapati ka meat. For me personally, I have social anxiety. So like to even go up to a real life human man and be like, oh, you go out with me. It just won't happen. So for me, I think dating apps have certainly made it easier to talk to men, except the ones which ask, why are you here?
Like if you have bisexual written in your bio or pan or whatever, people just want you to have threesomes with them.
The idea that you would have the three. First of all, they have assumed that you are ready.
Yeah. That day.
Because you
Threesomes
like
with
both.
them.
So then what's the problem?
My favorite question is, why do you swipe right on me?
Oh, ego
I'm like, what do you want, an ego massage? One person I told directly, I said, honestly, I'll tell you what I told my therapist, which is, I don't know if I'm looking for a relationship or for my mom. And he was like, I get it.
But sometimes, I've done this. It's the best thing. I recommend this if you're a het female and you swipe on a dude and his opening is, come on baby, just f me. If that's their opening statement, I literally write a whole thesis about why are you like this, Papa?
You copy paste it.
Yeah, why are you like this? You know, what is it exactly that you're looking for, you know? You think this is okay, and then they just become very contemplative all of a sudden. They're like, Didi, you're right. Didi, I'm out.
I once got into a conversation with someone who decided to impose his vegetarian views on me. So I decided that now that this has happened, I'm going to put it in my bio. I eat non-veg and I enjoy it very much.
You know what people will read that as, no? Okay.
Not even a day later, I get a message from this white guy who says, "Oh, you like non-veg, huh? Should I introduce you to my English sausage?"
I've been like, can I cut it? I mean, the only guy I've ever met off of Tinder became a really good friend. And like, it's been like 4 or 5 years and we became friends.
A guy I once matched with on Tinder, I went out with him twice, didn't work out. So now he's dating my friend, who I introduced. I am real Tinder.
What happened was when I came out as queer, that's when my circle like actually started formulating, because before that I did not know anyone else was queer. And then when I started coming out, I came out online and everything, so the circle increased, and you go to parties or you go at queer events like panel discussions or workshops or anything, you meet people there.
A friend of mine, so she would use like dating apps a lot. One guy that she matched with sent her a message saying that, do you want to meet up at a cafe and then we can go hook up at my house later, but you can't spend the night. I was just like, why would you say that? This character assassination of like, you know, just judging the fact that because you're okay with having sex off an app, you're characterless and I can say anything to you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think this is not just something like men say. I feel like women also judge each other for this.
When I came to Mumbai, I was like, I actually went on dating apps because I was looking for somebody aggressively at that time. I met one person who was very nice who did not do anything with him. I met one person who was not nice. Then it became funny for me 1 week later, so I'm telling this to my friends. कि ये हुआ, फिर मिली, फिर वो चला गया ब्रश करने, फिर नहाने चला गया, फिर आके बैठ गया तैयार होके मैं क्या करूँ? There are 2 of my male friends from my B school, and one is married, so his wife. Okay, they listen. 2 days later, I get to know that the married couple had a fight among each other later. That the girl is like, तुम्हारे कैसे दोस्त हैं? कि पहले तो ये सब करते हैं, फिर आके ऐसे बताते हैं.
Why would they care as such? It ends up being threatening to like either the idea of like, you know, the relationship, that if you're like that kind of a girl, then you'll probably someday hit on the husband or be a bad influence in his life.
I think the culture that I grew up in and maybe that girl grew up in, it actually teaches us कि एक ढूंढ लो, उसका सिंदूर लगा लो, उसके बाद बाकी सबको judge करो.
Everyone's just jealous of the other person.
The grass is greener
on the other side. Exactly. And I'm in that space where I'm like, listen, I don't want a relationship, but I really crave intimacy. It's like, hold my hand, let's go to the beach now.
Which beach you'll go, Baba, in Bombay? Which beach you'll go?
Are you mad? My chachi lives right here.
Arey, but that's what you said. We were holding hands at that mall the other day.
No, that's because of my other chachi. She goes there a lot.
It's fine, yeah.
किसके लिए इतना risk? Are you one of thousands of couples who are afraid to make out because of relatives? Well, fikr not. Masti Managed is here. Just install the Masti Managed app and copy paste our default message on your family group. This message has been rigorously and scientifically tested to guarantee that any adult will click on the link and install Masti Managed on their phones without their knowledge. Once installed, this app will tell you where all your relatives are so that you can make out in peace.
I'm not giving more money to any more students of many years. What's the next spot?
No, that's such a long drive. Let's check more. Yaar, why do we have so many relatives?
It's fine. We'll. Oh wait. This might be a good spot.
Oh yeah.
Masti Managed. Kiss without risk. Even if you do find someone, you go on a date, what's the best you can do? You go to a bar or you go to a restaurant and then you go home. Then what? Like, so where do you get laid? What do you do when you live with your parents? What do you do when...
Well, I have a great advantage is that I live in Malad. So I'm not doing anything anyway.
Those who are not from Bombay, Malad is just...
Malad is the Sahara Desert of New York. चलो जो भी मान लो कोई तो न्यूयॉर्क से देख ही रहा
I
होगा.
live in Thane. It's the other end of the world.
So how, like,
I've done it with people who had lived alone, so their house. Yeah.
In my case, I don't. That's my whole problem. Is also that
So
I
then
start
when
the
you filter
conversation-
guys, you have to look for a guy who has his own house.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. So you do think about that.
No, but they won't ask, do you have a place? Do you live with your family?
Ah, yes, that's the question. Yes.
So where do you live? Acha, family ke saath.
Bye.
No, they're trying.
I never saw it like that.
That's why your boys come and stay.
So you thought they genuinely cared.
That's why I'm saying I've met only nice guys.
They'll also judge you. Oh, you still live with your family. Oh.
Even you are living, no, but with your family. मुझे क्या judge कर रहा है? I judge you back. In fact, society is judging us. I'm 33.
Yeah, so like that's the thing, right? Like even if there is sex, then the question is it good sex? Is it consensual?
Good sex is literally just like sex you've consent to. That's what it's become for people. It's just like what I said, yes. So it was good. Instead of it being like, you know, amazing and talking about things and having conversations about what you like, and some like people that I've like worked with, some, you know, co-actors and stuff, they didn't even know, like till date, have never had an orgasm. So it's really interesting that this actually happens.
When people talk about same-sex people having sex, and I'm talking about like female bodies, men do not know what really happens there. And then I feel sad for them because, dude, the clitoris, nahi malum. Yeah, there are women also who do not know.
Because they genuinely think they're supposed to have sex so that the man can come.
One tweet I'd read on Twitter actually said, you know, a guy asks a woman, how do you know like you've actually had sex? And the answer is, yeah, both people come. That's literally it. Which God bless gay women. Like, congratulations, you get what most straight women don't.
It's really subjective what you like or don't like, but I think the benchmark for good sex should be that people talk about what they want, which they don't. Like, women genuinely don't.
And a lot of that begins with like the taboo around like masturbation.
Plus, far too many Indian women cannot afford to keep a dildo in the house. So what are they really using?
Jet sprays.
What, do you watch porn?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because my issue with porn for things like masturbation would be that I feel sick right after I've come. I'm just like, shut
My
this.
go around for this is I don't often watch, I read.
I used to do that.
I feel like a lot of these stories are also written by women. There's always that romance to it. So even if it's a one-night stand, it is like, you know, we couldn't take our eyes off each other in a bar, and therefore.
Basically, porn doesn't have plot, which is the biggest problem with it.
Hey, let me tell you about this great video I saw, Bangladeshi porn, okay? The most intense 4 minutes visual, like something's there's a banana suddenly, there are 2 oranges. Did I make you cry? Yes. But don't watch this.
South Asian porn is garbage, and our movies are not any better. People are eating things off people's navels. They are just sniffing cleavage. One man is sniffing neck. Then, and when they kiss, it looks like they're going to kill each other or that they're not interested. Like it looks like face off, not a kiss.
In 2011, this was the last TV show I was actually hooked to. It's called Is Pyar Ko Kya Naam Do.
Is Pyar Ko Kya Naam Do? Yeah, that was a popular one.
Every time watching this show, and I find it very romantic. Okay, this guy is just holding her and kissing her, and I sent it to my friend. Ki, oh my God, most romantic. Tu pagal hai kya, dude? You're raping her. Then years later, I'm watching it again, and I'm like, oh my God, what the was I? What?
But I think our concept of like, even I remember as like, you know, when I was younger, it just felt like I was supposed to sort of be like, no. I think I've only ever realized that the whole no thing doesn't work when I started dating my boyfriend, because, you know, every time I was like, no, he'd be like, okay, sorry. I was like, no, but you're not supposed to stop. And he's like, that's warped. Like, that doesn't make sense. That's force.
So now I try to make it a point that if I've been with somebody and it's the second or third time, I'm like, you know what, I need to do this for myself, okay? I'm not going to wait, I'm not going to...
Get that D.
Bollywood में नहीं होता है. Bollywood में pregnancy होता है सिर्फ Preeti Zinta का.
बेचारी बहुत किया उसने 3-4 बार. Dude, Band Baja Barat, okay? It was like this drunk kiss that they exchange, Anushka and Ranveer, and oh my god, it was disgusting.
But यार देख कंसेंट से है और दोनों एक दूसरे को बाइट करे तो क्या प्रॉब्लम है, करने दो ना.
I feel like you said, like it just works for some. I think they're also trying to show that a lot of people have no idea how to kiss, and that's what they're doing.
Like, your points might change my opinion, but I'm not going to watch Band Baja Barat for like that memorable kiss.
So I don't remember the kiss, I remember bread pakoda. So Sonia, you're doing wrong.
What about Bhige Hot Tere?
That's the best song. That's the raunchy one.
That is how you shouldn't kiss people. Why are my hot bhige? Please stop slobbering.
Lip gloss.
Supriya's version of life is so simplified. Hoठ क्यों भीगे है? Lip gloss.
मतलब और भी कुछ होता है क्या? I don't know, mom. I'm 33.
And in most of the movies, the first night is usually rape, not
Yeah.
consensual sex. In so many movies.
There are no queer stories. There are no stories of like regular women, you know, having sex and enjoying it.
Also because people who don't look like skinny, tall, straight women in movies, they're just relegated to secondary characters who are just usually there for people to laugh at immensely by men online and even offline. Yeah. Or you're just by general people considered completely like this person isn't sexual, isn't romantic.
And
whatever.
that's what happened with like Veeri the Wedding, right? Like it just showed Swara Bhaskar masturbating. And she became like national villain overnight, you know, because what, female pleasure doesn't exist, and the idea that women sometimes can actually have orgasms without your help.
It's unheard of.
Yeah, it's unheard of to them. That way the internet is such a cool space because on one hand we can actually talk about desire, we can talk about sex, we get that space to like hear other women talk about their bodies freely and like celebrate their bodies even. But also like they get massively trolled.
I was shocked in the sense that I have a very conservative approach towards my comedy in general. I'm aware of that. So the video also that I put out on YouTube is actually, I'm not on men, I'm not explicitly talking about sex, I'm just saying I went out to have casual sex, so conservative, I wanted some love out of it because I've seen Imtiaz Ali movies and hence usme mera, that's the narrative, okay? I don't use a body part, you know, in my vocabulary at all. And the comments are like, पहले सेक्स करती फिर रोती है.
People say some really horrible things. There's rape threats, there's, you know, that's just how you deserve it. Every time I put up a post which is a little bold or daring, I get so many abuses and insults, and my boyfriend gets amazing messages. And he comes back home and he's like, what have I done today? Like, you're the one making the effort, you're the one putting yourself out there, and he gets like, you're such a great boyfriend. I'm like, he's not great, he's just not controlling me. You know, the benchmark for a great
just
guy
bare
is
minimum. It's just
that he doesn't
not
shut
being
you.
So like when I came out and I started talking about my experiences, be it about anything, be it about gender identity, anything, I have people coming in my DM and saying that, you know, thank you for talking about it because this is exactly how I feel, and I was not knowing. You talked about it, and now I know about myself more because you spoke up, and that's what representation is. We needed that. Like when I was young and I was questioning, I did not have representation. I thought that what I am going through is invalid, like because it's not, I cannot see it. But that's why I started talking more about it, because the more you talk about it, the more people it will reach out to, and then people will not feel like they are the only ones feeling these things.
Contents like this, or like with platforms where people think that internet is not going to change your life, like go out and change things, but like every day that you talk about these things is changing someone's life somewhere.
We do end up having spaces on the internet where we can feel safe, where, you know, you have found a voice, and like all of us have found voices and an audience who actually wants to listen to us. And at the end of the day, like whether you like sex or you don't like sex, or you just want to like have a good time, meet people, for all of it there is space in the world, and that's what's happening, and that's how it should be. In an ideal world, like no one would be shamed for their kinks, or no one would actually judge that, and that's kind of cute. I don't know. I'm for that. मुझे वो चाहिए.
Sweet baby.
Heal the world. We've had a very hilarious and very pure and partly strange conversation about sex and dating. And thank you very much for joining us this episode. We will have only one more episode left after this. So please subscribe to BuzzFeed India to keep watching Girls Feed. And yeah, we're out.
Girls Feed.
A real conductor.
Yeah.